I'd love to do a book of his quotes. I love books of quotations. I read them for pleasure. I've got a few of these compilations, and one of my heroes is Winston Churchill. And went, give us the tools, and we will finish the job. I thought, how inspiring. And when I read, never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few, I thought, how patriotic. I read, it is a good thing for an uneducated man to read books of quotes. I thought, you cheeky fat git. People say that Oscar Wilde is greatest genius that's ever lived. Let's test that. Let's see what is one of his. All women become like their mothers. That is their tragedy. No man does. That is his. That sounds a bit gay to me. Give another go, isn't it? I couldn't help it. I can resist everything except temptation. That sounds gay as well. I want to start that with an ooh. I want to go, oh, I couldn't help it. You know, with I can resist everything except temptation. Dance be a fine thing. Do you know what I mean? And when he went through customs all those years ago in New York, then the customs officer, just doing his job, said, putting to declare, Oscar Wilde famously said, nothing but my genius. It's not witty, he planned. I bet the first time he went through customs in a foreign country, he was all, yes sir, no sir, and he declared, no, I declared, okay. I just thought, what's something fucking brilliant to say? Can I go? No, no. Oh, God. He had to wait weeks in those, back on a boat to England, planning it. And he declared, nothing but my genius. I'll be in the book of quotations on it. There again, finds the same bloke. That goes, on you go. I didn't even fucking ask him. Excuse me, I didn't ask me if I didn't declare. Random. Back on the boat, 3 weeks later, planning it, and he declared, no. Gets there again, right? Gets in the same bloke's queue. This time he looks all shifty, so he gets called out. And the bloke goes, did you buy anything? That's not the question. Just say, have you anything to declare? Have you anything to declare? Nothing but my genius. Who's the butt plugs? Right there, Mike. Guys, do you ever act more working around builders? I do. I can be walking around leafy Hampstead, right? Book of poems, right? Scarf, right? Doing Brahms, right? And if some scaffolders go, Ricky, I'll go, all right, you can't say doing, boys. Like that. And I tell you why I try and impress them. I've always been fascinated with human behaviour, right? But as I said at the beginning, we're the only species that allows the universe to understand itself. But we see all nature through our eyes, so it all comes back to us. Why are we here? What's us? Is it our genetics or the environment? The old nature versus nurture. The psychologist Piaget was once asked, what's more important for the intellect of a person, nature or nurture? And he famously replied, what's more important for the area of a length or width? All right, mate, if you don't know the answer, just fucking... Psychology, psychiatry, neuroscience, it's still in its infancy. And we still know so little about the brain. And 150 years ago, we knew nothing. It was all guesswork, right? And, everything was just mental. If you weren't a white, sort of heterosexual, married Christian man, right? You deviated too far, mental. They just went mental, like homosexuality, mental illness, you're put in an asylum for life, or worse, tortured. Women who fell pregnant out of mental, asylum for life, right? And now we understand more, we're more tolerant, I think it's going too far away, though, because now nothing's mental. You can't find somewhere that nothing is considered mental. Everything is a syndrome or an addiction or a preference, right? I could have my legs removed, have wheels put on, identify as a pram, right?
I like game shows. And The Bachelor is a game show where the prize is a person. There's a whole lot of people who just want to get famous. And we forced 2 of them to get married.
Everyone's involved with food now. It's because of the Food Network, the ubiquity of these cooking. Everyone loves cooking and the Food Network. Even if you've never seen the Food Network, you've seen the Food Network, right? Like we've all seen Chopped, right? Now, inside your wicker basket, you'll find a severed head and a grape. Make a frittata. Yeah. And everyone's a celebrity chef now. Everyone's like a celebrity chef. You can't just be a chef was a little girl, I don't remember any boys saying they wanted to be chefs. There were no celebrity chefs. There were like a couple of them. When your parents were kids, there were 3 fat French guys and Julia Child, and like that was it. You weren't a chef, you were a cook, and you were a cook on accident. You were a cook because you kind of went from Vietnam. We didn't know what PTSD was yet. They're like, Bob's acting weird, stick him in the back. Female comic makes scathing social commentary about our nation's treatment of veterans. Accurate but hurtful. And because of how many food shows are out there, the Food Network knows what kind of chefs you like to watch. So they cast the same archetypes of chefs, right? So there's always like a bad boy chef. And I didn't want people to think I was married to that. Like just a sack of rage, fully tattooed piece of shit. Like, this is a devil's tooth. Here's your crepe. Suck my dick, Karen. Yeah. These are gauges in my ears. They also measure out a responsibly sourced tuna. Eat my butt, Susan. Just come. Yeah. Wallet chain. I keep a knife in my truck to do a fine chop on parsley. Lick it. Just. There's always a bad boy, and there's always a lesbian chef. There's always a lesbian chef that takes cooking like a little too seriously for this to be an enjoyable viewing experience. They're always posted up, feet hip width apart, like, yes, chef. Can you just stand down? Thank you for your dinner service, but just relax. I make vegan wedding cakes. You need to chill out. This is so aggressive. Always tough. She always got a faux hawk and a bandana and food-related tattoos like salt or sugar. Like, yeah. Right? Always like meaty, always a little mean looking, right? But she always got a dainty name like Cher, because her parents weren't counting on having a pit bull for a daughter.
Have you ever watched HGTV? Real estate agents have to deal with the dumbest people in the world making the biggest decisions of their lives. Every episode of HGTV is like, Craig and Stasia are looking for a 2-story A-frame that's near Craig's job in the downtown. Also satisfies Stasia's need to be near the beach, which is nowhere near Craig's job. With 3 children and 9 on the way, and a max budget of $7. Let's see what Lori Jo can do on this week's episode of You Don't Deserve a Beach House.
Have you seen all the ghost hunter shows? Oh my God, hundreds of ghost hunter shows, years and years. Celebrity ghost hunter, all of the world, thousands and thousands of hours of footage. But they've never seen a fucking ghost. Not what? Like, oh, what was that? Was it that I was just the? Not the. What did you hear that? Was it just that? Was it you? Imagine if wildlife programs were like that. I'm watching David Attenborough all these years, and everybody goes, here, Kilimanjaro, we see the. Oh, no. And by the banks of the Limpopo, the elusive. Oh. You'd stop watching the car.
Well, one of my favorite ones to watch is Naked and Afraid. That's the best one. If you haven't seen Naked and Afraid, treat yourself. They take a man and a woman and they drop them off some uninhabitable island or, desert or Florida. Like the Everglades, the swamps, yeah. So they drop them off in there. They got to get butt naked and they have to survive for 21 days. And they get to bring one. Usually the guy shows up with like some crazy knife or custom-made axe or something, right? And the woman, she shows up with like fishing nets or maybe a fire starter. There was this one episode, this guy showed up with his axe and this woman showed up with a fucking magnifying glass. The look on his face said it all, like... A magnifying glass? It's like, bitch, what you think, we out here solving crimes? What the heck? I love that show. There was an episode that stood out because a black guy on the show. Yeah, this black guy, he's paired up with this nice little white lady from North Dakota, right? They drop him off on this island, and things were going great, right? So after like day 3, white lady's like, oh, Ronald, he's a good team player, and man, bugs and everything. It just nothing is bothering him. Nothing is affecting him out here. So I think we're gonna be good. I mean, he keeps to himself. I think we're gonna be okay. 2 days later, you find out that Ronald is homeless. Yeah, these assholes booked a homeless man to go on Naked and Afraid. So no wonder nothing was affecting him. He got on that island, he thought he was at Sandals. He was like, oh, shit, yeah. Can do this. This is nice.
I like game shows. And The Bachelor is a game show where the prize is a person. There's a whole lot of people who just want to get famous. And we forced 2 of them to get married. It's fucking belter. If you've never seen an episode, I'll walk you through an episode of The Bachelorette. Be like a 28-year-old girl. She lives in a house. You never really see this house. She lives in this house over here. And there's a mansion that literally has 30 guys in it that are all fighting for her attention, right? And she comes over and visits them occasionally. And oh, there's a petition going around the internet for a gay bachelor. No. The Bachelor is a heterosexual show for heterosexual people. And it will remain that way, thank you very much. I'm not being homophobic. It just wouldn't logistically work. So say you got a gay bachelor, his name's Darren. Darren lives in a house over here. Then there's a mansion over here with 30 guys. You're getting ahead of me, Toronto, don't do that. And the producers come over to the house to meet you. They go, we have a great group of guys over there. They're very excited to meet you. I'm excited to meet them. And then Darren walks over there with all of his hope, wishes and dreams inside this house. And he gets to the doorknob and takes a breath. And then he opens the door and they're all fucking each other. And the producers, they know this isn't good for the show. So they roll up a newspaper and start whacking. Get out of it! Stop fucking each other! They get a spray. Psh, psh, psh. They get one of them and rub their nose in their... Bad guy! Bad guy! So no gay bachelor.
A lot of people don't like Long Island. A lot of people shit talk Long Island. And a lot of them are right, but I want to know why. I'm like, how do they know? How do they know? And then I figured it out. People do not judge an area based on a book or research. They judge an area based on the reality show about that area. And Long Island's most popular reality show is a crazy woman who pretends to talk to dead people. This is true. It's called The Long Island Medium. I don't know if you've seen it. She's like an Italian gypsy woman. I forget her name. It's like Teresa Alavaca, something disgusting. It's like Teresa Antipas for 3. I don't know. But she gets these sad parents together in the back of these shitty Italian restaurants in Long Island. Because when kids from Long Island come back from the dead, they will only do so if they can eat ravioli one more time in a strip mall with this witch. Here's what you learn from the show. You learn that people from Long Island do not deserve to talk to their dead relatives based on the horrible questions they ask. It's always a guy that's like, Teresa, is that my daughter? Is that her? Is that Ashley Rosemary Nicole? Is that her? Okay, can you ask her if she's seen my wrench, please? And she's not a site, it's just that Long Island breeds a very specific type of monster. It's one of the only places in the country that she can walk out and, excuse me, I'm getting a feeling. Has anybody's toddler died in a jet ski accident? And 7 people, I guess, so my son did. He could not handle the power. We were ashamed of him. Does anybody have Billy Joel lyrics tattooed on their inner thigh? My wife and her sister, Teresa. Does anybody have a tattoo of an American eagle cloaked in an Italian flag riding a motorcycle through the Twin Tower? Everybody I know.
Once you get married and have kids, your wife gonna boss you around. And you would know that if you watched House Hunters. House Hunters is a show on HGTV where a couple pretends that there's a decision to be made together. And they go on this fake-ass journey, looking at 3 different houses, and the audience is meant to be left in suspense. Which house are they gonna choose? It's whichever one Barbara wanted in the first place, okay? And Barbara, who lives in Boise, Idaho, or wherever the fuck these HGTV shows are filmed, where houses cost $5,000 an acre. Barbara, she don't got money, power, or respect, but Barbara is a woman, and all women are very good at being extremely unpleasant. And holding your happiness and self-esteem hostage until we get what we fucking deserve, okay?
Does everybody here watch Shark Tank? So, all I want is a live episode of Shark Tank. That's what I want. A live episode. It's a reality show. But if you watch it, you'll notice it's heavily edited, heavily produced, and what bothers me is the presentation from the entrepreneurs are too polished. There's no grit to them. They come out like a 5th grade Thanksgiving pageant, like the natives called it maize, we bottled it. I don't want to fucking see that, okay? I want to see you mess up. I want to see grit. Maybe you forget your words. Maybe you chip a tooth. I want to see you crumble as an entity before my eyes. Only then will I tolerate you rising from the ashes with any degree of hubris. That's the way to consume American reality TV. The sheer schadenfreude of watching someone shit themselves on TV and then building that back up. That's what we like to see, okay? These are cattle farmers from the middle of Iowa, and they get in front of a camera and all of a sudden they're Winston Churchill. Buy it, okay? I speak for a living, and even I mess up, so there's no way to fucking die jobs from ASU. A new take on cookies. There's no way. Flawlessly orating. There are 3 archetypes of women that they like to have on Shark Tank. They love to have moms, because most of us have moms. But what's crazy and like creepy is that all the moms on Shark Tank have the exact same voice. It's a little Stepfordian. They all sound like this.
Hi, my name's Nancy from Laguna Niguel, and I discovered a new way to get your toddler to eat their blueberries.
Then they have really smart women, they do. They'll have brilliant women, but it seems that the smarter the woman, the longer the last name. Like they'll hyphenate their last names. I can't stand hyphenated last names. If you're in this room and you got a hyphenated last name, chop it! Chop it! Okay? You're not Spanish royalty. Chop it! I barely care about your first name, let alone the entire questionable heritage. When you have a hyphenated last name, all that makes me think is that mama was a big old strong lad. She didn't want to give up her family inheritance, so she begrudgingly married your father. Now they have an arrangement in separate twin beds and are like co-women's studies professors at Wellesley. That's what that is. It's also just so much information. I'm trying to hear you, your valuation, listen to the equity, and you're coming up there with a phone book like,
Hi, Shark. My name's Michelle Lita Julia Friedman Serial, and I'm Rebecca Lynn Stacy Fitzgerald Yang. And together, we sound like 5 dudes.
like it's a lot of information. Are you inventors or a law firm? Like, what is that? And then in the final category, the toy category, we have the hot women. Not attractive, not cute, fucking hot.
Teeth, tan, tit, hair.
Sometimes they do this. They'll have smart women on that show. Sometimes it feels like hotter the woman, the dumber the product. And I believe it's to keep us in mind. But a lot of times products will have to do with one of two categories. Either wrangling your femininity. Sharks, it's a flap you put over your vagina so no one knows you have one. Move through the workplace with ease. Or it's a product so stupid, it will just confirm any perceived notions you might have about female intelligence.
Like, it's a shower cap that you can wear while you're cooking so your hair doesn't smell.
You just set us back like a week with that shit, Lexi. But that's the one that I'd like to see live, the hot one. Because I believe watching an attractive woman mentally unravel on national television
Is the reason we all watch reality TV.